Nick Dunne wakes up on the morning of his 5th wedding anniversary in the small Missouri town of North Carthage. As he makes his usual coffee, his face is blank, detached. He drives to the bar, a local watering hole he owns, with his twin sister, Margot. They joke about anniversary gifts and life's meaninglessness. But when Nick returns home, the front door is open. The iron is still on, and a glass coffee table is shattered on the floor. His wife, Amy, is gone. Police arrive quickly. Detectives Rhonda Boney and Officer Gilpin begin examining the scene. There are signs of a struggle, blood smears that were wiped clean, and a sense that everything was staged. Nick seems off, too calm, too indifferent. He calls Amy Amazing Amy, a reference to her parents' famous children's book series which fictionalized her life. The detectives grow suspicious. So does the public. As the investigation unfolds, flashbacks to Amy's diary begin to fill the gaps. We see their early romance in New York City, their witty banter, magnetic chemistry, and shared dreams. Amy describes how perfect Nick was, charming, thoughtful, spontaneous. But things began to crack after the 2008 financial crash. Nick lost his job. Amy, a writer, was laid off. They moved to Missouri to care for Nick's dying mother. Amy hated it. The diary paints a disturbing picture of a marriage gone cold. Amy writes about Nick's temper, his secrecy, his aimlessness. She says she fears him. She says she feels unsafe, that if anything happens to her, Nick would be responsible. Meanwhile, public perception turns against Nick. At first, he's the grieving husband, but when a Find Amy volunteer rally ends with him awkwardly smiling beside a missing poster, the internet turns. Reporters swarm. Tabloids run headlines like Killer Husband and Gone Wife, Guilty Life. Then the real bombshell hits. Amy is pregnant. Detectives find a clue in their anniversary treasure hunt, a tradition Amy started years earlier. She left him riddles, gifts, and hints. This time, the clues lead him to his father's abandoned house, where a shocking discovery is made. A shed filled with thousands of dollars worth of purchased items, golf clubs, electronics, a robot dog, all bought on credit cards in Amy's name and delivered to the shed. Nick claims he didn't buy them. The police don't believe him. Even worse, Nick has a mistress. Her name is Andy, one of his students at the local college. She's 20, wide-eyed, and very much in love with him. When Andy reveals the affair to Margot, his sister is furious. "You killed your wife," she says half seriously. Nick denies it, but now we're wondering too. The media crucifies Nick. He becomes the center of a national scandal. Protesters shout outside his house. Women spit at him in the street. His lawyer, Tanner Bolt, an expensive, smirking defense attorney known for defending high-profile scumbags, prepares Nick for trial. But Nick knows he's being framed. And deep down, we begin to believe him. Because then comes the twist. Amy is alive. She's dyed her hair, changed her clothes, and is living out of a motel in the Ozarks. She narrates her real plan, step by step. She faked her own murder. She staged the living room to look like a struggle. She drained her blood onto the floor and cleaned it up. She planted clues, forged diary entries, and bought gifts on credit cards to make Nick look like a violent, cheating sociopath. Her motive? Nick's affair, his coldness, his lies. She wanted to punish him and ruin his life. But Amy's plan begins to fall apart. She gets robbed by two meth heads in the motel who discover her money belt. With no cash and no backup plan, she turns to an old flame. Desi Collings, a wealthy and obsessive ex-boyfriend who once stalked her years ago. He still lives like Gatsby in a glass house on a lake and greets Amy like she's his long-lost princess. She plays the victim, pretends Nick abused her, and Desi, eager to rescue her, agrees to hide her indefinitely. But Amy is trapped again, this time in a golden prison. Desi controls everything: her clothes, her food, her access to the outside world. Meanwhile, Nick finally realizes Amy is still alive. He studies her treasure hunt clues and notices how her writing changes over time, from playful to fearful to fake. He appears on a live talk show and speaks directly to Amy, apologizing, confessing, even flattering her. It's a brilliant play. Amy watches the interview from Desi's estate and smiles. She's coming home, but not without blood. Amy seduces Desi, gains his trust, and during sex, slashes his throat with a box cutter. She staggers into the street, covered in blood, clutching Desi's dead body like a trophy. Security cameras show her arrival. The nation gasps. She tells the police Desi kidnapped her, raped her, and she killed him in self-defense. No one questions the bloody hero wife. Amy returns home to a stunned Nick. She collapses into his arms before whispering, "You better act like the husband you're supposed to be." Nick is horrified. He knows the truth, but the media doesn't. Amy's story dominates every outlet. America adores her now. She's the survivor, the perfect wife, the amazing Amy. The cops suspect the inconsistencies, but lack evidence. Only Nick knows the truth. Later, in private, he confronts her. "You're a sociopath," he says. She smirks. "I'm the cunt you married." Nick wants to leave, but Amy has one last card to play. She's really pregnant. She inseminated herself with Nick's stored sperm from a fertility clinic. Now the world expects them to raise this miracle baby together. If Nick leaves, he abandons his child. If he tells the truth, no one will believe him. Nick is trapped. The film ends with a haunting interview. The perfect couple sits side by side on TV, smiling at the cameras. Nick grips her hand, his face a mask of dread. Amy beams beside him.
"We're so excited for what's next,"
She says. The smile never reaches his eyes.